What's up? Thanks for coming to Stuck in the Middle. I'm so happy you're here. Yeah, I really wanted to talk to you. I really wanted to share something with you. It's been on my heart today for whatever reason. The thing that kind of really stuck out at me today was value, and I started thinking about myself and how it took me, goodness, 20 years. I mean, 20 long years, seriously, just to get to this point where I could say to myself, Steven, you're valuable. Like, obviously before, I kind of knew I did have value, but I didn't really consider it to be like that big of a value. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was letting a lot of outside noises just speak louder than the voice in my own head. I had the other voices outside speaking louder than the voice that was right here, right? And the voice in here, it was too quiet, and then it started saying the wrong thing. Like the voice inside of me just started saying all the things that I would have never said had I let any of those other voices get into my head, right? And so I got to the point where for 20 years I was just in this repetitive cycle of over and over again going through this self-destruction mode. Like I was just in this mode of always wanting to like say something wrong about myself or do something wrong to myself or whatever, feel the wrong thing and like just have all these negative conversations. And it was so easy to do that. And I'm like, yo, man, that's not, I wasn't always like that. Like I used to be more like laid back and more fun and free to just be and whatever, just be me and be who I'm called to be. But then I went away from that because I started listening to what others were saying and what I thought they may have been saying or feeling based on how they were treating me, the way that they were looking at me or responding to me. And that was that cycle for 20 years, and then I finally broke out of it. And it was the rapper was no more. Right? So one of the first things I had to do was find the value in me. And I had to really think long and hard about that. Like, what makes me valuable? What is it that makes me me? And one of those things was I started thinking about the gift and the purpose that I have here on this earth. Like, why I'm here within me, what gifts do I have? And that's all things that added up. So I had to start just claiming my own value. And in essence, I started thinking to myself, like, you know what? No more am I going to listen to what other people say as far as my value. I'll just pick my own value and what I think I should be and allow it to be something better than what other people are saying. I had teachers that assumed my value to be very small. I had a second grade teacher who told my mom at a parent teacher conference that, I think the son is dumb. And my mom had to respond, like let her know, it's not that he's dumb. He's just hard of hearing. He just can't hear you, right? But just the simple fact that I have a teacher who was assuming that because of my response and me not being able to hear, there's something being attached to me already, like that I'm dumb. Then I had other friends that called me hearing aided and deaf and dumb and all these other like condescending, negative name trying to talk me down and talk about how little I am, like, can you hear me? Now, at that time, that used to hurt me like heck, right? Like, that had me tripping. And I like, after a while of every day, always hearing stuff like that, right? All day, every day, always hearing things like that. It started to make me think that my value was getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And I pretty soon, I started thinking like, hey, I deserve this stuff, right? And I didn't keep myself at a high level of value within myself because of the fact that I was starting to let the outside voices speak louder than the one that was in here. So the first thing was I had to get that back. I had to claim ownership of my value back again. Then the next thing was I had to choose how I wanted my life to be. Did I always want it to be that way where people are always talking down on me, where I'm always surrounded by people who are thinking negative of me because I'm not able to hear things? Like, do I always want to be surrounded by people who want to say, you're not very smart, or, you can't do this. Or basically I would have someone change how they talk towards me, and I would accept that as being okay. Like, they would talk to me over exaggerating when they're saying their conversation, saying their words. We would have a straight conversation sometimes because I grew up in a hearing family majority. Aside of my mother and my sister, who are both hard of hearing as well, I grew up being oral, not necessarily using ASL. Now, I do love the art, the ASL language, and just as much as I do with the oral. But because I conversate through oral, I would go around and just talk to people like I'm doing with you right now. And the thing that would drive me crazy is someone would talk to me this way for maybe 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden they're over exaggerating every word once they find out that I'm hard of hearing. Like, just letting them know, hell, by the way, if I miss something, even though we've been talking, if I miss something you said, or if I say something incorrectly that doesn't match up with what you said, I do apologize. I'm hard of hearing. Their response is something like, "Oh, really? Is this better for you?" For real. In my head, it doesn't make sense. I never understood why people did that, and it made me feel even more and more like obviously, if you can't continue to conversate with me, that means that I must not be all that great, because where you're at is right here and my value is down here. And so I started thinking, like, you know what, I don't want that kind of life anymore, where I'm worried about whether or not someone is going to respond that way towards me. Right? I don't want the life of where there's always these negative voices being thrown out at me, and I'm listening to them more than I'm listening to mine. So instead, I decided I'm not going to have that kind of life anymore. The life I'm going to have is the kind that it's either positive things or it's no thing, right? I'm going to use my hearing loss. I'm going to either hear it or I'm not. I'm gonna use the lost side of it when I don't need to hear it, and then use the side that I can hear, just that little bit. I mean, it ain't much, but it's a little something. I'll use that part to listen to the things that I need to hear. That'll uplift me. That'll make me feel more valuable, more like me, more positive, more inspired. Those are the things that I just changed my mind, and after a while I just decided, that's the path I will take. And then the last thing was I decided I'm going to educate those people. Now, even though they will respond that way, I started to let them know, you know what, there are things that people go through. Some people get sick and they become hard of hearing, or they may come completely deaf. For me, myself, there are people who are like myself, where we're born hard of hearing from birth. And that's myself, my mother, and my sister, right? All of us were just born and raised that way, all throughout our life. Then there are other people who are late deafened or just became hard of hearing later on in life. Maybe something happened. Maybe it's just a lot of loud noise, like going to rock concerts, going to concert parties, like going to these events where the music is blaring in your ears all the time. And then after some time, after a while of beating on that eardrum, yeah, the hearing loss comes in. And not everybody understands what it means to walk down a path for somebody who's hard of hearing. So the best thing to do at certain times, what I told myself I would do, and what I started doing, was I just started telling some people, like, look, this is a different kind of life than what you're used to. And there are people who don't necessarily need you to either treat them that way, or who need you to kind of talk a certain way, right? We have tools that we use. We use hearing aids. We use cochlear implants. We use different kinds of forms of communication, different kinds of tools to help us be able to enhance the little bit of hearing that we have, or we just don't even rely on them at all. Some of us don't. Like, at this very moment, I don't have anything in my ears. Now, doesn't mean that I don't think that a hearing aid is valuable or anything, but it is. But at the same time, it's not who I am at the core. Like, it doesn't make me me. I'm still me regardless. And I just wanted to tell you that you have to know that you're valuable, no matter how people may treat you, no matter how people may make you feel, whether you rely on oral when you're speaking, whether it's, with you signing. just know that you gotta claim your value. You choose how you want your life to be, and then you gotta decide to educate people and be that very thing that you know you are, with your gifts, with your purpose, with your talents, because you're amazing. And I think the world needs to know this because you're here. They obviously you wouldn't be the one that's hard of hearing if there wasn't a purpose for you. Like if there wasn't something big and special for you to do with that hearing loss. And that's what I feel like it is for me, and I know it's got to be that same way for you. So just know that you're right where you belong. You're perfect. Ain't nothing wrong with you. It's all good. You are special. You are valuable. And I hope you will go after all of your dreams and your desires from this moment forward. All right. That's my time. Nice talking to you.